Hello, everyone, and welcome to our third official Home Games developer update. My name is Joseph. I know it's been a while. It's been something like 6 months since the last one of these. But basically, what I'm going to be showing today is our new HTTPS setup. I'm not going to go too in depth on the technical stuff. I'm basically just going to say the problem was we needed certain browser features that are not enabled without HTTPS. So in order to have HTTPS, our home games servers all need to have individual certificates that they can use to basically enable HTTPS with TLS certificates. And we needed a way to provide these for home games instances. And the way that we provide these for home games instances is based on usernames. So in order to have usernames, we need to have user accounts. That's kind of the shortest way I can describe that whole kind of thing. So what I'm going to show today is kind of end-to-end user account creation to running home games and having homegames.link work and having SSL or TLS or however you call it. Basically HTTPS will be working. So if we go to homegames.link over here, you'll see there's nothing running. I have no home games instance running. TLS good is the branch over here on the game server, and then TLS is just the thing here for the web server, and then the actual difference in the app. Have to blur out that text message. No, whatever, it's fine. Anyway, this is just some extra logs and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter. Basically, these are the branches that I'm on, TLS and TLS good. So like I said, kind of fresh end to end. Again, nothing is running over here. Going back to test.homegames.io. As you can see, this is not final text or anything, but the sign up works, and that's all we really care about. So Joseph Real 9, because I have done this demo 8 times unsuccessfully, but we don't care about that. Basically, I'm just signing up. This password here is a password 420, and the only reason I'm saying it is because you will have to see it in plain text at some point, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And you can't see it because I'm on my phone, but basically this sent me an email with a confirmation link that comes back to test.homegames.io. I then just have to type in what my username is, which was Joseph Real 9. I submit, and that's successful. Just to confirm that this works, I'm going to sign in as Joseph Real 9. A password 420. This is calling our new authentication service at auth.homegames.io. So I logged in, you can see, because I have Joseph Real 9 now in the header. Cool. So at this point, I have my account created. So now I can get my certs created so I can run home games with HTTPS enabled. So I'm just going to run node app server over here in the home games web server. It's going to ask me for my username and my password, which I'm going to log in with the person I just created. And you'll know, you'll know in a little bit why I told you my password. And it's because I don't have anything at the moment that can hide info that I'm typing into standard in. Because all this is node reading standard in. And so I'm typing my password and it's not redacting it. So I think it was a password 420. And then it should tell me that it logged in. Yes. And then it's storing auth tokens. So I have a configuration file that's saying this is where I want my authentication data stored, and this is where I want my certificate data stored. We'll talk about certificates in a little bit. But authentication data does not include your password. Passwords are not stored. They're not logged. None of that kind of stuff. Basically what's happening here is the home games web server is passing off the username and password to AWS Cognito, which is then giving me back a set of tokens. I'm storing those tokens locally because I can use them to log in later, temporarily, without actually requiring your password again. Again, not storing the password, nothing like that. So you see there it says getting certs. That's talking to our certifier service, which is creating a new certificate and private key kind of namespace to this person, Joseph Real 9, but it's actually a hash of the username, just to kind of make them consistent and URL safe and all that kind of stuff. It's a hash of the actual text of the username, but anyway, it's still unique to you. So at that point, or at this point, we have a set of certificates, or a certificate and key pair locally on this server or on this machine. that say I have access, or this is a certificate saying I am wildcard dot some hash of josephreal9 dot homegames dot link. And so the actual homegames.link server or service will do some fancy stuff for that in a little bit that I'll show. But basically, you see here we have open connection to link. So at this point, my app server has told homegames.link that it exists. And now I'm going to say not bide, but node game server, my Homegames game server. And that's running. So now I can go back to homegames.link. And so that works. So I have here, you see it's 192.168.127.88d, whatever. So this 88d is the hash of Joseph Real 9. This is the certificate that Homegames, or the certifier service generated for me. This 192.168 is my private IP. So in addition to creating the certificate, homegames.link and all that kind of all those services and all that magic, also created a DNS record that pointed this particular URL, I don't know what you'd call it, name, basically what you see in this bar here, to my private IP address, which is 192.168, and this is only over my local network. So basically, doesn't really matter. This is a thing that allows me to have HTTPS, and this message is something I forgot to remove. But basically, this is all running locally, and I can kill my game server just to prove it. I come back, and it still just says, holy fuck. But yeah, that's that. And then I think it should be fast enough to show this. Now, if I go back to homegames.link, it's back to none. And then I say app server, and then I don't have to log in again. It just does that. Open connection to link, and then node game server again. Do it again. It works again, and so now I have access to all these new browser features. And we did all this kind of stuff, or not all this kind of stuff. We did all this stuff for free. I mean, we're not paying for like certificate generation and stuff. If you want to hear the whole story on that, you can listen to our podcast. A few episodes ago, but basically we're not paying for the certificate generation. We are limited in some ways because it's free and it's this whole thing, but all the code is available. You can go read how we're doing this. I'm super happy with it. This is like the most important thing I think I've built this year. So yeah, I don't know, super excited. If this was informative or whatever, interesting, anything, leave a comment, leave some feedback, reach out to us on Twitter at homegamesio. Yeah, this stuff is super exciting. I'm excited to see where we're at in a year. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you for watching. See you next time.